Trade recap time. Trade recap time. Hey. Uh. Wait. Oh, never mind. How you doing, guys? Literally, this is literally one, a trade recap. Two, there was no trade taken, literally because it was out of my time frame. But I did take a mock trade and we ended up winning that trade. And I did set a limit order, but I did cancel that limit order because I realized it's out of my trading idea, like out of my trading time, ideally. So I just set this on here as an example to see like, okay, how volatile is price going to be from this time to this time, whether my trade hits or doesn't hit, and we'll just see if it did or didn't hit. But spoiler alert, it obviously did hit. Um, but yeah, let's get right into it. Coming in today, I had a test today, so that's like one of the main reasons why I did not take a trade. And price was really, really choppy as well. If we Here we are. Price was really choppy as well in the beginning, which is the reason why. Not reason why, which is why I was actually kind of happy that price was not going in my favor particularly particu you know what I mean, bro. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. But anyways, particularly. Okay, boom. Anyways, embarrassing. So, what do we call it? Price was kind of like choppy, not really choppy, but we were making a lot of wicks, like so many wicks. It was kind of like not really clean price action for like the beginning. Like I don't even know how long. I want to say like this was at 9:40 to almost like 55 minutes worth of price action that was just not moving at all. We ended up taking a draw, but my let's start from like the very very top, the very very beginning on what I did, what I did. Well, anyways, coming into today, if we just look at how everything has been from yesterday to Asia Open, made a new day opening gap, end dog, new day opening gap. This is an intense draw on liquidity that I do think price could honestly push down towards today, if not sometime this week. But just remember, this is a huge draw on liquidity that we have right here. So with this being said, I came into the market just looking at how the trend is, because remember the trend is your friend and the trend is always targeting some sort of external or internal. If we do our top down, what did we do? Literally, like I said, we were gonna fill in this imbalance. We literally filled in the imbalance from Asia Open, well, mainly because of this gap, to be honest. But we ended up filling in the gap, like I said, and like I said, price is going to want to draw towards internal, towards external. This is an internal because it's an internal, because it's an imbalance. So with that in mind, literally with all that in mind, and we ended up coming in for this, filling in this whole complete new week opening gap, not new week, this new day opening gap, like fully, um, literally fully. Okay, my bias literally coming into today was kind of bullish, but I was actually I was really, really open for shorts, right? Why are you saying why are you open for shorts? Well, if you look here, we have an unfilled 4 hour, right? We also have this unfilled gap. We also have this unfilled 4 hour. And whenever I see that we are overbought, I'm honestly looking for the opposite of the trend, right? Because price is not going to just keep going without coming back and balancing price before we continue on whatever trend that we're going. That's not how price works. Price just doesn't leave imbalances. We always come to fill in imbalances. Like if you look at the weekly, although we dropped, what did we end up filling? Imbalances. We came up, we filled in this imbalance. So what did we do here? We filled in this imbalance. We came and filled it, and we didn't fill in this order block. Well, right here we filled in this order block a little bit, but what did we do? We literally filled in an imbalance. What did we do here? We came and filled in an imbalance. Imbalance. We kept on going up. Imbalance. Price always fills imbalances before we go on whatever rampage we're on. What did price literally do on the monthly, bro? It's literally like a pattern. As soon as you realize this pattern and you can apply it with your frameworks, you'll see yourself be a lot more consistent. So with that, we had a 4 hour imbalance. I was like, okay, with that big of an hourly imbalance, I actually am implied for shorts. On top of that, on the hourly, we also had, excuse me, hourly imbalance right here that was not filled. If you look on ES, same thing, hourly imbalance not filled, hourly imbalance not filled. That was pretty much it, to be honest. But hourly was telling us, buy, buy, buy. So For the meantime, I was bullish until a draw on liquidity were to get hit. Then it could signal a reversal. And you're probably asking, if we're all bought up, what were my draws on liquidity? I'll tell you. My draws on liquidity were honestly two things. Literally a daily high and a daily high. And literally, ironically, this is a 4 hour high, this is another 4 hour high. And they literally equivalent to daily highs. So with that in mind, I was like, okay, these are our nearest draws on liquidity since price was already since price was already in such an up overbought. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can hit one of our draws in liquidity, and let's see if we can toggle a reversal from there. But coming into today, since I was originally bullish and I traded continuations, I wasn't minding for literally any one of my setups to literally show up, right? And pre-market, we had one of my setups show up. We had this imbalance, right? And mainly like the first 15 minutes, like the first 9 a.m. to 9:30 imbalance usually will dictate where price wants to go for the beginning until we see something insane happen, like an SMT, foreshadow right here happen, and which causes a whole like reversal down. So with this in mind, excuse me, with this in mind, we had a whole 30-minute, not 30-minute, let's go to the 5-minute. We had a 15-minute imbalance right here. With this 15-minute imbalance, we came in, we closed above it actually. Well, we closed below it, however, but we didn't break any sort of structure. We really just inversed this gap, but we really reclaimed it, to be honest. And this honestly caused an order block on the 5-minute. And with that, with this framework in mind, we literally saw pressure coming up, and we ended up seeing pressure reversing down. So this was originally my 5-minute PD array, but like I said, I was in school, so I wouldn't even have taken this. And apparently, let's look at news. 9:35, we had an FOMC member speak, and it was an orange folder, which was why this whole wick of a candle was caused. And I probably would have stayed out, to be honest, but yeah, I was originally bullish. We had this play out, this 5-minute imbalance. Not five, yeah, we also had this 5-minute imbalance. Well, BPR, to be honest, because it's two imbalances in one. Um, we ended up having this BPR or this inverse fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. It's also this order block. We ended up getting buying pressure out of it. Honestly, if you scroll down to the 3-minute, there's literally nothing here. It's just top central. 1 minute was even worse, no entry. But that's pretty much how I was bullish until we hit daily high. Whenever we hit a significant draw on liquidity, either a reversal is going to happen or order flow is going to be way too strong, and we're just going to keep it going to another high, like another important draw on liquidity. Daily highs are draws on liquidity, but they really aren't like too stronger than like previous session. Okay, I'm back. Like previous session highs, but with that being said, this is how my mock trade played along, and we played around like literally freaking crazy good. These were pre-market highs. um, Other levels I had was 9:30 highs, 9:30 lows, London session lows, and then we also had this unfilled gap. We also have this gap that I do think price is going to want to come towards long term, but we'll see about that tomorrow if I was right on the next trade recap. But anyways, we made an SMT on the 5-minute. So with this in mind, I was like, okay, bet. Let's actually get down and dirty. But this was around 10:35. I was actually waiting for a setup to occur, and if we can get one like before like 10:40, I'll trade. But we got my setup around like 10:54, so I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna. I set a limit order, but I was like, I'm not gonna do it because it's against my time, and we'll just see how price wants to act with this mock trade. If anything, it'll just be good tape reading. You know what I mean? So yeah, we ended up having this SMT. We ended up literally inversing this little tiny gap, bro. I wasn't gonna count it, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna count this gap because like why not? And it's literally an imbalance. So after we inverse that, I really got onto the 3-minute. Look to see what we had. We made another imbalance. We came up, filled into this imbalance, and it continued lower. So I was like, okay, that's calm. I don't see no reason to go down on the 1-minute. I mean, retrace on the 3-minute. So I scrolled down to the 1-minute. What did we have? We ended up having this imbalance that was made. My stops were originally right here. Well, not no. I lied. My stops were originally right here. Well, no, because I was like at a 3 or something. Hold on. No, right here. No, right here. I remember because it was like a 3 point something. But anyways, We ended up creating this imbalance, and then what did we do after the imbalance? We retraced into it, and then boom, we ended up with this 5 minute gap right here. We ended up inversing that. As soon as we inverse this gap, it was pretty much golden that we were going to want to continue lower. We ended up turning this order block into a breaker block, and then we ended up continuing lower, taking out literally not taking back, but retracing back into session highs, not session highs, whatchamacallit, what was this? This was yeah, pre-session highs, pre-market highs, pre-market highs, pre-market highs, and then literally coming down for these lows, London session lows, and then here we are, filling in this gap from London session, and then yeah, that's literally pretty much it. Now we're filling in this gap as well. Overall, my trade idea was pretty solid. Literally just entry off of inversions after looking at balanced price action on the on the little time on the literal on the well, smaller time frames, and that's pretty much it. Literally SMT. So with this SMT and this imbalance, this was my 5 minute PD array, this inversion right here. So I was literally willing to literally scroll down and get down and dirty. What else do we have? We have balance, balance bearish price action right here. I saw no reason for the 3 minutes to retrace to be already, literally balanced out. As you can see right here, we filled in this imbalance, came into this order block right here, filled in this order block, and then we continued going downwards. Inverses gap as well. 1 minute for rally gap, retrace, entry, boom. First take profit was actually right here. My first take profit was like mentally was the 50% of this imbalance right here, and then we hit that literally a couple days later, like not a couple, like a couple minutes later, with this crazy candle, and then from there, boom, stops would have been honestly not at break even. I probably would have trailed my stops a little bit because this was a volatile move, and I probably would have trailed my stops just a little bit just because of this next candle move that was really volatile. That would have stopped me out at break even honestly if I had moved stops, but luckily we did not. We came up, retraced, and we ended up continuing on downwards, taking out these highs, and then literally taking out London session highs, and then here we are with these data highs. I'm at data lows from that 935 wick. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty solid trading day. Pretty solid tape reading day, honestly. Maybe next time if I see a setup like this before 11, I think I'll increase my times to 11 now. I'll actually take it because this was actually pretty solid, like pretty solid price action, pretty solid after this freaking whatever this was. But I mean, yeah, this was the move. And if you guys caught this, good job to you guys. And I mean, yeah, I'm loving how we're going so far with this. I've been able just to like precisely just sit down, sit on my hands, and just really just read like price action and just yeah, just nice to see like things coming together just bit by bit. So thank God for that. And I mean, yeah. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next training recap. Whoa, this is my edit that I'm gonna freaking embarrassing. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow and in TikTok. Follow the TikTok down below. Love you guys. Peace.